Today we're going to talk about how to create fashion using negative space. I have a bunch of different ideas for you to attack this lesson. I was inspired by looking at this Instagram account, Tall Short Artist. And as you can see, this person went ahead and drew a figure and then cut out the negative space of the dress. Then went throughout the house and tried to find patterns for the dress. And depending on where they put it in front of, it had several different patterns, which was really fun and totally inspiring for this lesson. So I'm going to show you the 3 ways that I ended up creating using negative space inspired by the artist that I just showed you. These are a little bit different because anytime that you find inspiration, make sure that you twist it and change it just a little bit so it becomes your own. That's why we share our art, is so that it can grow and expand in someone else's brain as well. So for the artwork that I'm going to create, I did a little bit of collage. So I started out with some magazines. The first example that I'm going to show you, I actually didn't use a person at all. I used a fox, some wildlife, and I needed a glue stick, a scissors, and a piece of paper. Then I folded my piece of paper in half, placing the head of my fox halfway on that fold and off, just so that I knew how big the head was. Then I took my pencil starting on the fold and ending on the fold and created a half of a shirt. This allowed me to go ahead and cut out that negative space. So I used my scissors then, started on the fold, ended on the fold, and ended up with the negative space of a shirt. So then I glued the head onto the shirt or the body, and then I used some scrap paper, and this is just something I did above and beyond. You don't have to do this, but I thought it'd be cool to give some buttons to the shirt and a bow tie, but you can see that there's still negative space in the shirt. This is what I ended up with. I actually had a reason to pull out all of my dresses from my closet, and this is why. I would hold my picture up in front of my dress or any clothing from my closet, and it changed the look of the shirt. So I'd hold my camera back, hold my picture out in front of my dress, and then take a picture. You might need some assistance for this part if you're doing it at your house, so ask for a friend to help out, or a parent or a loved one, maybe a brother or sister, and it might make this part a little bit easier. I know, being a Minnesota Viking fan, this is not okay, right? But Aaron Rodgers really became a great fashion model for this lesson. What I did was I cut out just the upper portion of Aaron Rodgers, and then I used my sketchbook here and I folded back the page. That gave me half of a page. I did the same thing I did with the fox, where I laid the figure down on that fold, halfway on and halfway off. Then with a pencil, I drew the shape of some legs. You could get really creative with this part, make really tall legs or maybe super short ones, but I just decided to make kind of regular pants for Aaron Rodgers. Then I took my scissors and cut on the fold again, starting on the fold, going around and ending on the fold. When I opened up that page, it ended up looking like pants for Aaron Rodgers. I wanted to give it a little bit more pizzazz, so I set him aside and I started drawing around, kind of creating this red carpet look and the lights shining down on him. Before I glued him down though, I added a little bit of color as well. And then I went ahead and glued him onto my page. The next step I did was I used colorful, bright, bold papers, and I placed it under that negative space so that I could change the way Aaron's pants looked. So here we go. Lots of different versions, but if you ask me, that purple and gold looks really nice on Aaron Rodgers, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Okay, this next one's a little bit complicated and you might need some help from an adult if you choose to do this one. What I did was take my picture from a magazine, and the paper is very lightweight, so I wanted to put it on something a little heavier. I chose to use a cereal box. That's nice, thick paper, right? So I glued the two together with glue stick. The next thing that I did was I went and started cutting out just the shirt part of my image. Now this actually caused a problem because I didn't let the glue dry totally, so it started peeling up. You can see over there in that circle. So I had to let it dry 100%. Once I dried it, I was able to cut just fine. I cut through the cardboard and the magazine and just removed the whole shirt from Sean. Once I had my picture of Sean all cut out, then I went around my house and I just found different places to hold up the picture of Sean to give him some different looking shirts. My favorite room that I went to was a room where I collected a bunch of art from a bunch of my friends, and I placed the Sean picture in front of the art, and you can see how it gives some really cool effects. So here you go. 3 more ways. Tall Short Artist gave us a good start. And if you want to draw your figure and then move on from there, adding the negative space, that is a great way to go. If you want to use any of my collage ideas, that's an okay thing too. You can use clothing to change the negative space design, or go around your house like I did with Sean there and find different patterns throughout your house, or even use some scrapbook paper or some interesting design paper to put in your negative space. These were a few ways to create fashion using negative space, but we have been making a lot of fashion projects right now. So if you want to see more fashion lessons, go ahead and click on these videos right here, or visit my blog, minimatisse.blogspot.com, or my YouTube channel under Nicole Hahn.